last year's CAC Championship, Mary Washington became the only team across all conference sports to win the team title in each of the 25 years of the CAC's existence, capturing 16 of the 18 events to run away with the crown. The fight for second place was one of the closest ever, as just 59 points separated second place from fourth place in the standings. The Eagles are once again the favorite to claim conference hardware at the three-day meet hosted by St. Mary's this weekend, with a slew of key performers back in the fold, including former Athletes of the Year Abby Cox and Stephanie Halleck. UMW was the unanimous choice to take home the title in a preseason vote among the conference coaches. Will anyone close the gap on Mary Washington at this year's meet? Let's find out as we take an in-depth look at each squad entering the championship.
On our women's side at the CAC Championships, we should continue to improve on our point total from the last three seasons. We've scored the most points ever each season we've been in the conference, so continuing that upward trend and hopefully moving up in the conference. We've also got some really top-notch swimmers who should earn all conference honors for the first time in CAC history for Frostburg, which would be really exciting, and I think some of our relays should make it up on the podium as well.
The championship meet should be really good races throughout the whole team. I think there's going to be a lot of relay records broken and individual records broken between at least 5 girls on the team. And for myself, I'm hoping to re-break the 50, 100, and 200 free records, and as well as place top in the conference.
We lost a great group of seniors last year. Kate Donch was one of the top breaststrokers in the conference, very solid distance swimmer and IMer. Jackie Franzak was our top butterflyer. Sarah King was our top sprint backstroker. And Lizzie Jarrell was one of the best sprinters in the conference and on our team. So from that standpoint, we did lose a lot of talent. All of those girls were point scorers for us. But we've had some new people come in and really step up, both in leadership and talent.
This season has been really competitive, especially at our invite meet back in November at Franklin and Marshall. We've had so many competitive swims throughout the season, especially at our Elizabethtown, where every race counted. It brought us up to the very last relay. So I think events that were very close will bring us to competitive swims that will be at the CAC Championship.
Our biggest key returner on the women's side is Macy Nitchie. Last year as a sophomore, she finished in the A final in all 3 of her events. This year she's already established 3 new team records, and our women's team as a whole has 8 team records already at this point in the year. So it should be a very strong showing. We've also got some very talented juniors and seniors. Chrissy Alessandrini will be key for us on the relays, as well in the freestyle events. And Sydney Fazenbaker has continued to improve. She was a 2-time finalist last year in the 100 and 200 breaststroke, and she should look to repeat in those events, making finals. And she's also come a long way in the distance events and should be a contributor in the mile or the 500. Our key newcomers on the women's side are freshman Maddie Weinberger. She's already broken the 100 and 200 breaststroke record and should continue to drop her times heading into championships. She's also very good in the IM and should be an A finalist in all 3 events and look to get NCAA cuts in her breaststroke events. Also for the women, Emily Turner is another huge contributor. She should break the 200 backstroke record at our conference championship meet, look to be an A finalist in both the backstroke events as well as the distance freestyle events. We've also got a lot of depth on the women's side. Lauren Pettyjohn Robin is another solid freestyle for us and will help in the butterfly events. Sam will help us out in the backstroke and freestyle events. Maria Rousseau, another solid freestyler and backstroker. Brianna Rees. So we're looking pretty strong on the women's side. This is the deepest we've ever been, and it should be a solid showing.
I'm really looking forward to seeing how younger freshman individuals on the team will be doing. I think they'll be like freshman Maddie Weinberger and Emily Turner will be able to break records, and I'm excited to see how our relays will do. We have a pretty good chance on making it to ECAC Championships.
It's been a really exciting year for our women's team. Again, with the conference meets, it's nice to see what you're going to be facing come championship time, and it's given our girls a chance to race against the people they're going to see in finals at CAC Champs. At a conference, we've had some really close meets where our women eked it out by maybe 5 to 10 points and pulled off wins where it was really a group effort, and they had to come together to get it.
My favorite part of being an athlete here at Frostburg is how close our teams are with not just the swim team together, but also as we are with other teams. And I really like the coaches here, and as well as all the athletes on my team.
To be better than we were the meet before, and we talked about that from day one in the season, building on the stuff that we're doing in practice and trying to be better every time, and ultimately that should come together with best times and a really great atmosphere and people achieving things they didn't think were possible. And if we do all the little things right, then hopefully we will win events and put ourselves in a position to bring home 2 more titles. But that's kind of not the ultimate goal for us. I think the big goal is focusing on being better than we've ever been. And if we do the things that we can control, and we control those things, like we should be able to bring home 2 more titles, which is always a fun way to end the season.
The most memorable part of the season, I think, was our first dual meet against Washington Lee, because that's our most competitive dual meet, in my opinion. They're not in our conference, but they have a lot of similar speeds and abilities that we do. And my freshman year, we lost by a couple points, and this year we won, so that was really exciting to come off our first conference, or our first dual meet, and come away with a win. That was really awesome, and it was cool to show the freshmen that we're a great team, and we're going to work together and have an awesome year.
On the women's side, we just graduated an all-around very solid class with event winners and dual meet conference level, swimmers. So I think it's been fun kind of to see other people step into those roles.
The training schedule for us will help us do great at conferences because of the way it's structured, how we have doubles on Mondays and Fridays, so we're ready to go with the prelims, finals, racing twice in a day. Also in our practices, Abby does a really great job of working details and race strategy into tough practices, so you're in the middle of a tough set, but you're still trying to focus on things that'll help you win your races and go great times at conferences.
I think our senior class is incredibly strong. At one of our dual meets, I made the comment that everyone in that class had won an event at a dual meet. Most of them have won relays and individual events at the conference level as well. So if you look across the board at all of our seniors, incredibly talented group. And then, there's people in every class that have been named Rookie of the Year, Swimmer of the Year that are coming back. So I think we're just very lucky that we have an incredibly talented group that works hard and pushes each other every day in practice. And from that, it's really hard to pick specific people necessarily. And then on the women's side, kind of the same thing. Like, we have 5 women, and they all have their strengths, and I think they will complement each other very well because they don't swim in the same events. So you can kind of look to see freshmen popping up in events across the board for us, which will be pretty exciting. I think, in terms of our dual meet schedule, we swim, 8 or 9 meets across the course of the season, so we're not nearly as, competition heavy as some of the other sports. So I think every time that we race, we really try and use that as an opportunity to learn so that we can prepare ourselves. Swimming all comes down to the end of the season, so every time that we have a meet, it is just prep for the end of the season. I think in terms of, our results in our dual meets, we've been fantastic. The women went 9-0, undefeated in the dual meet competition for the first time in my tenure, which is incredibly exciting. To be a combined 16-1 between the 2 teams is phenomenal. And I think, in terms of our training, like, we prepare for this all season long. Like, this is what we are focusing on and preparing for, so it's super exciting to kind of see it all coming together. And I said to the kids at our last dual meet, like, we're ready to go right now. Like, we're not rested, we feel, tired and broken down, and we're swimming incredibly fast. So I think it just builds that excitement heading into the conference meet and making sure that we're, doing the little things right, so that now we can just kind of enjoy the last 3 weeks and get ready to swim fast.
My favorite parts about being a student athlete at Mary Washington is that everybody is working together for the same goal. So the professors want you to obviously do well in your classes, All the coaches want you to do well in swimming, but also they sort of mesh together in that professors are willing to come to meets and make exceptions for tests and stuff like that, so you can go to meets and travel and stuff like that. And the coaches are also really behind you in the school aspect. So we have study hall and stuff like that. And I just really like how all the other athletes are supportive of each other too.
I'm a Division III student athlete, and I know how powerful words can be. The term gay doesn't mean stupid, lame, or less than.
So I pledge to speak up if I hear the term gay used in a derogatory way or any other homophobic terms.
If you can play in Division III.
I'm a Division III student athlete, and my teammates unconditionally accepted me as part of their family. So now I pledge to do the same for others. If you can play in Division III.
Well, we just love that everybody goes and performs well. We've been fortunate the last 7, 8, 9 years. We go there and our kids have always performed well. Every senior on our team, women, men, do lifetime best times, so they continue to improve through college, which a lot of programs can't say. So we're fortunate that they do that, and we just get excited to go there and see everybody perform their best. That's our number one goal, lifetime best times in every event.
I'm looking forward to swimming different events this year. Like last year I swam 100 fly and 100 back, but I think I'm going to go for 100 fly and 200 breast as well as 200 IM this year. So I think that'll be good that'll be fun to race some different people that I didn't get to race last year, and try to break my own record in the 200 IM at CACs this year. I think the team's really excited and hoping for a second place finish.
Morgan is tough. She's can compete in 8, 6, 7, 8 events individually. We don't know what she's going to swim yet. So she's excited and she's gotten better all year long. She's continued to get better, continue to train well, and is committed to swimming well at this meet. Senior Jess Hester has trained well all year long, and she's looking real good in the breaststroke events. We don't have any real standouts this year like we had last year. We had Casey Thomas last year and Bridget Wonderly as standouts who could go and compete for individual titles. Right now we've got depth across the board. We've got 2, 3, sometimes 4 swimmers in every event that are going to get back and score points for us. So that's where our strength lies, is in the depth of our team, not so much having a lot of really talented athletes that are going to go in and win events.
This year we incorporated weightlifting into our schedule, so I think that's really helped with the strength throughout, and it definitely shows in the meets we have to go back to back. We're definitely tired, but the team really helps to uplift you and get you through those long weekends, and so I really think that will carry well through to CACs.
Our biggest issue last year was distance freestyle. We had a real weakness in our distance freestyle, so we've got 2 freshmen in that should final or at least make consolation finals. They're going to do very well, I think. So we filled that void. We've always had depth in the sprint freestyle. We're not as strong without Casey there. We don't have that stud that goes in there and wins the event or is right there in the hunt, but we've got depth. We've got 3 or 4 girls that'll make finals, and we've got depth in backstroke, depth in breaststroke, depth in butterfly now. So we feel pretty good about where we're going to be in terms of a team score.
Yeah, definitely going down there is one of the best parts of the season. The amount of training that we do really sets us up for good endurance for the 3-day meet. I think just being able to go down there as a team and spending the whole week with each other, you get to know a lot of people that you didn't really know before, and it really helps to connect everybody.
We get 1 week, we call it a peak week, where we train really hard, and then we get to our taper. The magic begins, and that's what everybody looks for. So I don't know if it's self-fulfilling prophecy. They look to feel better. They know they're going to feel better, and they do feel better during the taper. but we like to have that sort of where we can kind of eliminate all the distractions and just focus on this one meet.
It's definitely getting up there, probably like a 9.5 or so. I feel like when we get on the bus to go, I'm going to be like getting really anxious, but just like want to get in the water and swim. But I think everyone has shown that they're like just really motivated and really excited to get there and get her done.
You know, it'll be a good meet. I think, you know, we're just again, they've been training well and we have high expectations. The outcome, you know, York's got some studs, Salisbury's got some studs, Mary Wash has some studs. Everybody in the conference is bringing some studs to the meet now, so it's not going to be as dominated, I don't think, by Mary Wash. They're still going to do well, but you know, that fight for that second place, the hunt for second place, is going to be pretty tight between us, St. Mary's, Salisbury, and York, I think, on the women's side.
The nursing program is what I'm in, and so that was like the academic side that I wanted to do, and that being accepted into the program here was really one of the first steps into me deciding to come here. And then when I got to meet Coach Clark and come meet the team, he was just reminded me a lot of my club coach, and I really like him, and he's super funny. He's a great guy. And then I stayed here overnight on a recruiting trip, and I just saw how like close everyone was.
The CAC Student Athlete Advisory Committee promotes community service as one of the pillars of the organization's mission. CAC SAC members have impacted the communities surrounding their campuses in a variety of ways over the years.
The student athletes realize that it's important to give back to the community and make those connections between community members, whether it's nonprofits, whether it's groups of kids and clubs and organizations, whether it's senior citizens. Student athletes realize that, and they want and they have a desire, a true desire to give back to their community.
It's really important because it lets other people know what the Student Athlete Advisory Committee is about, because most people aren't aware of what we do. It bridges a gap between the communities, the student athlete community and the outside community.
It's very important for SAC to be involved like this. Whenever we have athletes that are very passionate about causes, and to put good people towards good causes is the best thing to do.
I think one of the most important functions of SAC is, you know, the community involvement piece. It gives back to the school, it gives back to the community, which makes both better.
I definitely hope that they put in good races, and when it comes to neck and neck events that they get to the wall first. I think as long as they can keep their competitive spirit up, they're going to have wonderful swims, record-breaking swims, and they're all going to better their times.
Well, individually it's my last season, so I would like to go out with best times, but that's not at the top of my list. I really just want to have a great champs meet with the team. Our relays are really looking good, and hopefully my individual swims will be good as well.
Like the gentlemen's team, our sophomores, juniors, and seniors are all a cohesive group. If you look at our relay lineups, we have from freshmen through seniors on every relay. So I think the majority of our girls' team are all going to be scoring points for us. There's not any standout. We're all a solid pack on the girls' team.
I really love the relays. I think it's a great part of being on a swim team is that you do all this work individually, but then you get together with 3 other people to see how fast you guys can go as a whole. Relays have always been my favorite part of champs, so we're looking forward to posting some great times in those events again, and hopefully breaking one of our records.
Our key newcomers are definitely Sam and Ellie Valenti. I think and we have actually a field hockey player that came on a little late into the season, Nicole, and they're really adding to the team atmosphere, and they're gonna do really well. They're gonna have great swims and enjoy their first champs.
I think this season the best part was how close our meets were with other teams. In two or three of our meets, it came down to the last swim, the last relay, and we were able to come out on top. So that's been the big standout for me. We always have a great Florida training trip. We have a great group of girls down there, and we had a great Richmond this year as well. So I don't know. It's all great. This is one that we work on from the first weekend of meet season until now. We do a short meet and a long meet each weekend. This prepares us to be able to swim all 3 days at Champs. So when we have 2 meets in a row, one will be a short meet, so the hundreds of stroke, and the next meet will be long, so 200s of stroke. We also do morning practices a couple times a week, so that prepares us to swim in the morning and then at night. Our goal for Champs is to be able to swim well throughout all 3 days and not to fall off as the last day comes around.
I think for our women's sides, especially as the season went on and we had more swim meets, and they really decided to band together and they worked off of one another at every swim meet. I could see them growing closer and closer as a cohesive team. And like the boys, we won our last dual meet against Salisbury, and they're really going to take that momentum into Champs.
Being a student athlete is definitely hard. To keep on top of all your work and be able to attend all the practices and attend all the meets and be able to focus on swimming as well as focus on your schoolwork. But I would say that having a group of people who are always there for you. We do a lot together. We obviously swim, but we work out in the weight room together. We go to dinner together. A lot of us have classes together, and we all motivate each other to get your schoolwork done and do well in school, but also to do well in the pool as well.
It's on us. It's on all of us. And it's time to act now.
We are calling you, all of you. We are calling all Division III schools to join our cause, to recognize that non-consensual sex is sexual assault, to identify situations in which sexual assault may occur,
to intervene in situations where consent has not or cannot be given,
to create an environment in which sexual assault is unacceptable and survivors are supported.
This is our It's On Us pledge. It's on us to make a personal commitment to help keep all people safe from sexual assault, regardless of race, gender, sexual orientation, or ability.
Not to be bystanders to the problem, but to be leaders of the solution. We invite you to join us in this campaign by informing your campuses about the It's On Us mission.
Educate your student body, faculty, staff, and local community on how to prevent sexual assault and how to support survivors.
It's on us to start the change. It's on us to be the change. It's on us. It's on Division III. It's on all of us to stop sexual assault.
The goals and expectations we have for the team, we would really like to be second. Women have been second one time, so we're really shooting for that second place this year.
My goals and expectations individually would just be to better all my times, pretty much swim as fast as I can. And as a team, especially the girls team, our goal is probably to come second to Mary Washington. We have beat York already, and we're planning on hopefully beating St. Mary's. So if we could get second in the division, that would be awesome.
Every year we lose people that have made a difference, but the interesting thing about the team is we always have somebody step it up and really come back and do a nice job and fill in that spot. So we really haven't lost much.
I'm most looking forward to about this year's championship is just coming together as a team, swimming fast together. It's a great learning experience for all of us, and of course placing well and swimming fast. The most memorable part of our season would definitely be beating York on Halloween. We haven't last year, but we did the year before. So just doing that as a team really was awesome to us.
For the senior women, we have Nikki Schultz, Catherine Adams, and Andrea Moyer, Lane Gable. We have newcomers Hannah Schlegel and Sammy Davidson. And again, you know, we have so many people that I couldn't possibly mention them all. All of them contribute.
Well, we just came off doubles every day. We've been training hard all season. So now we're ready to go and we're ready to swim fast at championships.
It's been an interesting season for us. With the conference now doing all the scheduling, we have people in different spots than we're used to having them, but it's kind of worked in our favor this year. I think we've done well and we've been able to build up.
My favorite part about being a student athlete at Salisbury would be just the tight-knit athlete community and seeing another athlete every time you're going to class and just forming a bond with everyone in the athletic department.
Very similar to the men, just kind of getting up, being supportive, racing. I think, you know, in general, you know, getting behind each other, behind the blocks, being supportive teammates is what's going to kind of put us apart from other teams. You know, that team tradition, that family atmosphere is really going to set us apart. And they're, again, a close group, so, you know, things that they do together. I think both teams, and, you know, and the women have been instrumental in moving forward, you know, staying together as a family. You know, the leadership that we have, just kind of seeing that through, and you know, I think that, you know, the ultimate goal is near, and they're excited to race fast.
For the team, especially on the women's side, we gained a lot of depth this year. Just looking at, I think we started with about 8 or 9 girls, and we don't have 2, so we have 7, but that's a lot more girls than we had last year, and just being able to put together relays. And I think a lot of people are going to have personal bests, like Kai was saying. We had a mid-season meet, and a lot of people had best times, like lifetime best. So knowing that at conferences we're going to be even more excited, wearing faster suits, tapered even more, is really exciting, I think, is for the team.
I think the women's team are going to surprise themselves, you know, just like the men. I think there's going to be a lot of breakthrough swims. Maddie Mann on the women's side, freshman from Maryland, who is going to have a great meet, and you know, I think going into the meet, she's prepared mentally and physically. You know, in addition to Andrea Sturgis, who's also a freshman, you know, going to be a huge impact. You know, and both of them being a part of the relays, in addition to the other pieces that will come together, are going to make a big impact.
Where I live, we don't have high school swimming, so I never had the whole team environment. It was you swam on the pool deck for 2 hours and you left. You weren't as much of a family, and I think coming here and knowing that I have another family to go to, another family to talk to, hang out with, be with, I think has really helped making school and swimming a lot easier.
You know, we only graduate 1 female, and then behind our 1 graduating female for next year, there'll be 1 senior for next year. So I think it's an extremely young class, which, you know, is only going to set the program up for success. I think that their success in the pool and the classroom is really shaping and molding the team, you know, and for the future program. It's attracting other very talented females to the program. Going with recruiting this year, you know, having the success that we've had, the prospects see that, and you know, I think they want to be a part of it. So just moving forward that way.
I think it is. I think it creates a really cool dynamic. I mean, we really do spend a lot of time together. Like, I hang out with a lot of the freshmen pretty much from all day, like going to practice and then come back and hang out with them again. It's just you grow, you have really close bonds with them, and then being able to see them get faster in the pool is really cool as well.
Overall, just the team atmosphere, you know, the team environment, the support of one another, I think, you know, for me as a coach, the ultimate goal is just to walk away from the meet with best times, you know, having each person perform best times, you know, new school records. For me, placing isn't as important as just seeing their overall success and what they achieve individually and as a group. You know, I think ultimately the goal of just continuing to place higher and score more points is obvious, but, you know, there's a lot more that goes into it. You know, swimming is, in reality, a team sport, but individually has a lot to do with how we do as a group.
Probably individually, I'd like to at least win one CAC conference title. I have a lot of high expectations for myself, so I think that 1 to 2 would be my goal.